As the festive season approaches, Nigerians have been granted a welcome reprieve. The National Petroleum Company Limited and other key stakeholders, including the private owners in the petroleum industry, have responded to calls to lower the price of premium motor spirit, PMS. Dangote reduced the price of PMS from 970 naira to 899.50 naira, while NNPC reduced 20 naira from depot price as Christmas, bonanza for the festive season. This decrease is expected to ease the movement of people and goods, particularly for those traveling to the hinterland to celebrate with loved ones. The reduction is also a significant relief for many Nigerians. On today's episode of Nigeria Today, we'll be examining the implications of this price reduction. Welcome to Nigeria Today. I'm Victoria Clinton. Joining me in the studio is Olabode Shomi. He's an energy expert and a public affairs analyst. You're welcome to Nigeria Today.
Good evening. Thank you.
We are also expecting, a member of the National Treasurer of IPMAN. But, before he joins us, let's start, Olabode. The reduction in price of, premium metal spirit by Dangote and, of course, NNPCL from the depot. Now, talk to us. Let me first of all get your impression of this reduction.
Okay. Speaking as a Nigerian, the man on the street, any price that goes down in this era of galloping inflation is good news. In fact, retaining the price is good news, but it's better that it's actually going down, even though it's not the kind of reduction that Nigerians would want. So, to that extent, it is good. But more importantly, what it shows is that there's competition. And competition forces price to be realistic, rather than the players taking unfair advantage of the consumers. Competition also forces the operators to be innovative in terms of how they deliver the services and in terms of how they do their operations as well. But most of all, it gives you that cost-reflective price. So, for Nigerians, it's good news, and we hope and pray that as the key determinants, which includes the crude oil price, the forex to naira, the dollar to naira ratio, as it continues to move in favor of Nigerians, this will be reflected in the final pricing of the finished product.
Now, still talking about a point you raised, you said this is, even though this is not what Nigerians are, expecting, the kind of reduction they are actually looking forward to. What exactly do you think they are looking forward to?
It's not difficult. You speak to people, they'll say they want it back to 300 or 500. Some will even say 50 naira. People have all these figures. And the usual question I ask is that, so how much is supposed to be the cost of crude oil? So, and then the discussion ends. So, there's what Nigeria wants. Whether that is possible is a different thing, but it's just what Nigeria wants. In economics, they say their needs and their wants. So, it's the want of Nigerians. I don't know how much of it can be realistic, but it's what people want.
Well, Olabode, what people really want this time. How possible can it be for the petroleum price to go back to 300 naira? Even though, of course, I would love that as a Nigerian. But then, how possible can that be?
Okay, so there are factors that determine the price. Okay, say for example, I'm selling akara. What are the things that determine the price? Beans, the cost of beans, transportation, the cost of oil, the cost of labor to fry everything, a bit of equipment and all that. So, if one of the major costs for the determinant is the cost of beans, so if the cost of beans continue to sell at, say, 100,000 per sack, there's only so much you can do in terms of reducing the price of akara that is on the road. So, it's kind of like the same thing. There's the cost of crude oil. As long as that cost continues to change as a result of the fluctuation between the naira and the dollar, it will always be something that will affect us. So, yes, we want these very fairy tale prices. There's nothing wrong in wanting it. Whether we can have it as a realistic price is a different thing. Because if it costs 800, for example, to produce it from the crude oil to the refining process, and you decide to now sell it for 300, which means that there's a 500 naira gap. That 500 naira does not disappear into thin air. Somebody takes the cost. Either the person selling it is selling it to you at a loss, or maybe somebody will take that cost from you, in which case maybe government, and that we are back to subsidy. So those are the things that affect the pricing.
Okay, thank you very much, Olabode. Joining us now from Yola is Umar Babakano, the National Treasurer, IPMAN. You're welcome to Nigeria today.
Good evening.
To us, Umar, the reduction in price, even though, of course, we've been told is for the festive season, what does it mean to the independent marketers, and how will this reflect, you know, talking about how will it impact on Nigerians?
Yeah, that's a welcome development to the independent marketers, and surely it will translate down to the pump price, even though not at the moment, because yesterday we bought product in Lagos around 970 to 900, between 970 to 975 naira. So all those products are still en route. So the product that is being sold today at the rate of 899.5 may come into the market maybe after a week or so, plus minus 1 or 2 days. So surely it's a good development to independent marketers. I agree with my brother, Mr. Showumi. The thing is that if at all maybe you have money to buy 3 trucks at 970, now with the money of buying 3 trucks at 970, that means you can now buy maybe 3.5 trucks. 3 or 4 weeks ago, we were buying products at about 1,170, which will translate to over 50 million. And now, if you are buying it at 899, it will be around 38 million or so. So that means if you are buying 3 trucks 3 weeks ago at that 1,170, today you will buy 4 trucks with it, which is a good development to us, because the hike in pricing made so much of our members went out of the market. So, but with this, I think we are making progress.
You know, presently at the pump price, Nigerians are buying over 100,000. Some even 150, 100, and you know, just above. So tell us now, with this decrease in price, what are we expecting to see at the pump price? But at the end of the day, is what we get at the pump price that Nigerians, you know, are concerned about.
You know, it differs. Like now, if at all I load from Lagos, I have a station in Abuja. I put my transport at around 45 naira. Then I put my finance cost, maybe 15 naira. Roughly that's 60 naira. Then I put my margin. Normally the trading margin, it should be around between highest 5%. So if you calculate 870 plus 60 naira, I mean 899, roughly 900 plus 60 naira, that will give you about 960. How much is the 5% of 960? It will roughly give you maybe around, you know, 30 or so naira. So roughly it's not supposed to go beyond 1,000 naira.
Welcome development, because from 100 and something and you're 1,000, say 150, now you're getting it at maybe 1,000 or 1,000 and some fraction. You know, it's so talk to us, show me as a Nigerian, someone that of course consumes this product.
Yes.
Talk to us, how will this impact, you know?
No, I mean, the festive period, there's a lot of movement. People travel. I mean, and then with the power situation, people are likely to use either diesel or petrol to run generators. I mean, the basic things to fuel modern life. So it means that the budget for those things will be reduced. So it's good news. It's good news. I mean, it's just that people need to learn to appreciate little things. That's the key thing.
Now, Umar, talk to us now. With this private refinery on board, how has it reshaped Nigeria's petroleum landscape? Because you are one of the stakeholders with the introduction of these private refineries, and of course we are even hoping that more investors coming. So how has it actually reshaped the Nigeria's petroleum landscape?
Yeah, as you said, the regulation is a good thing if at all things are in place to checkmate the regulation, because if at all there is a competition, then the market must be realistic, because everybody will try to get the best by getting the standard product, giving the best pricing compared to everybody, so that you take the whole market. So refineries coming on board, it's a good and a welcome development. And be rest assured, we will see the positive impact, but not now. Maybe it will take a longer time than we expect, because this is just the starting, the starting point. So we need some time, but for sure, it's going to bring a positive impact on the, within the market.
I leave you, Umar. This reduction that has been brought to 899.50 naira. When are we expecting to see the pump price change?
Yeah, just as I told you, depending, because from Abuja, from Lagos to Suleja, that's Abuja, it takes us maybe 3 to 4 days for those trucks to come. From Abuja to Yola, it takes us around maybe 5-6 days. So, and from Abuja to down Borno, Maiduguri, almost 6-7 days. So depending on the timing, because as I said, it's the new product that is coming in now is the one that is going to be sold at that rate. Because as I said yesterday, in short, even today, the new product is still not in the market. So I know those that bought today still at about 970 or so. So I have to load at 970 because they bought yesterday at 970. So they have to load it just that way. So those products are going to, we are expecting the petroleum pump price to start coming down from 5 days maybe to around 7 days.
Okay, thank you very much, Umar. Now back to you, Olabode. We, of course, Nigerians will want beyond the season to see more of this, more of the reduction. Just like you rightly said, Nigerians even wanted to come as low as here and there, even though we know at this point it is almost not possible at this point. So what can be done to see, you mentioned competition, which is a good thing. What can be done for us to see more of this, competition in the oil industry?
I think a free market is precisely that, where there's free entry and free exit. So we just need to wait for the time where the other suppliers of refined products will come in. In other words, the other refineries to start working. NNPC is looking at Warri to kickstart it at some point, and then probably later Kaduna as well. The same thing goes to the Bua refinery that is somewhere in Akwa Ibom. So we just need to wait for those people to come in, and then the interplay in the market between all these different refineries is what will bring the best for us. I mean, in all the nations that we call developed, where customer service is priority, they are all things that were pushed to the fore, or should I say provoked, as a result of competitiveness between people. And with the competition such that they needed to provide the best service at the cheapest possible price for them. So they come up with all those things that we know as customer service and a cost-reflective price for them to also sell as well.
Now, Umar, if you are still there, we also understand that apart from the reduction in price, There was also a kind of, will I say, bonanza that was also given to marketers, an additional liter of fuel on credit for every liter bought on cash, basis. I don't know, what does this mean to marketers to have this kind of facility?
Yeah, it is also a very, very good development, even though it has not been communicated to us yet. We normally even used to have their credit marketers, as in credit. Normally, NNPC gives us even credit in order to get it more easier, because, for you to start making payment before they confirm the payments, all those bottlenecks won't be there. So we may easily load than waiting to pay, get confirmation and the rest. So, and it will reduce our finance costs too. So these are all things that are needed. So it's a welcome development. So we are waiting to see that, even though not yet communicated to us. So we are hoping it comes to stay. I would like to chip in on maybe one or two questions you asked my colleague here. You are asking of how can we be able to possibly get a petroleum pump price come down lower than 300. If at all those are, government-friendly policies are there, and by maybe if at all, let's say for example, there are some policies that makes maybe the forex comes down to how it was before. Maybe let's say even if it is 400 to $1, the price of petrol will crash automatically down too, because as he said, what is the cost of the product? What is the cost of production? So it is all pegged on dollar. So if at all the forex has come down, all these things will automatically go down. Secondly, the issue of how can we bring more competition or maybe investors. Government should put friendly policies, free of bottlenecks, free of bureaucracies. Normally, in situations like this, an investor should be welcomed with open hand. But in some cases, especially, it's hard to say. If you come here as an investor, you are just a cash cow. Everybody wants to, bank on you and start unnecessary delays, demands and some things. So there should be friendly policies of bringing in investment. If we have a level playing ground for everyone to come and do the right thing without being coerced, without being begged for what you don't have or maybe what is not in the line of business, people will rush in. You have more refineries, you have the competition we are looking for, which will bring down the prices, get us better products. So many things will come to play, which will be positive to the government, to the people, and everyone.
Okay, thank you very much, Umar. Now, actually, Olabode, now the fact that the petroleum price was reduced at all, because quite a lot of times you hear people say, what goes up in Nigeria doesn't come down. But again, here we see petroleum price coming down. Now, what message really does it send to the people, to the ordinary Nigerians on the street?
Well, the first thing it says is that what goes up can come down.
Okay.
I mean, if there's a message to be passed in that sense. But the other one is that it also encourages us, or should encourage us, to actually understand the parameters with which these things, the costs are determined, such that when the price ought to go down, we should know, and when the price is going up, we should also know. Those are very fundamental things, because at the end of the day, it's a knowledge industry, it's a knowledge world, and it is the knowledge that we have that will make all the difference. So, for me, if there's a take-home from it, Nigerians should help themselves by understanding how these things are determined. I mean, he said some things, Alhaji Babakano, and with respect to policies that should encourage investment and all that. If you ask the average Nigerian, what policy will encourage investment? They have no idea. But they will say it. Everybody says it. It's the buzzword on the street. So those are things that people should know, such that when there are policy changes, they can be able to point and say, okay, this policy change is not helping investment. If it's not helping investment, it's not going to help the petroleum price on the long run. So people need to understand how all these things are connected. It's a system.
Okay, before you go further, talk to us about some of the policies that you think should be changed. Or what can be? Of course, we want solution. Every Nigerian wants solution, because this reduction, I'm telling you, a lot of Nigerians are very happy that this can happen. So, what are some of the policy mix that you think that needs urgent attention that will lead to further reduction in the price of fuel?
At the moment, I don't see much, because we came out of an economic situation where there was hemorrhage. So the policies, the key policies that are determining everything at the moment is the floating of the currency as well as the removal of subsidy. Those are key policies. Now, with respect to the removal of subsidy, everybody has been saying it for decades, but it's just that this is the first government that had the courage to actually do it. It's responsible for a lot of things, including the inflation that we see. But the inflation has already taken place. The things, it is just best that we wait through it and start to reap the benefits. Because if we go back to subsidy, this inflationary prices is not going to go back. It's just going to maintain the status quo. So the issue will now be what will be at the end of the tunnel. So I haven't said that. It should be understood that I'm not an economist. It's not my field. So I'm just basing that based on my own understanding and how it appears to me. So I'm just inferring from the basis of logic, not necessarily from the basis of expert knowledge.
Okay, back to you, Umar. The last time one of your members was on the show, he mentioned that some of your members have, they park their trucks because of the, high cost of product. But now with this reduction, how do you think it will affect marketers, especially for those of them that have parked their trucks to say, okay, I don't have money for, to continue. So how will it impact these sets of marketers?
Just as I've told you earlier on, we are happy and it's a welcome development. For those who can buy up to like 50,000 liter truck capacity, they are still in business, so they can be able to continue the business. And for those who were having maybe that up to maybe 40,000 liter capacity, 40,000 liter worth of funding, either through finance or maybe cash funding, then they will go back to business by starting at 40,000 liter capacity. But for those who maybe after the regulation of 100, I think President Bola Tinubu made the product at around 200 naira. And after removing subsidy, it jumped up to almost 500 naira. So for those, they are still not in business and will not be in business at the moment, until and unless maybe it somehow goes back to that level. So for sure, as I told you, maybe at least those who have the capacity, it will give us more room to deal in higher volumes. But for those ones who are maybe one single truck buyers, it is still not time for them to come back to business, because it was 200 maybe, and now it's the lease at 899 roughly, it's still 900. So they still have a long way to go. So, but at least it's still a welcome development. At least it's coming down. As I told you, maybe last 3 weeks ago, we are buying it at 1,170. Today, we are buying it at 899, roughly 900. So you have a margin of over 270 naira. So it's a very, very good step forward. So we are hoping it will continue in that direction for it to, for those who have gone out of business to come back to business, even though it may hardly go back to normal, because then there was subsidy at maybe when we are buying at 200 naira. So now the realistic, no matter how cheap it comes down, it may hardly comes down less than 600 naira because of the forex increase from maybe then it was around 400, 500, 600, 700, today at about over 1,700 naira. So
thank you very much, Umar Baba Kano. He's a national treasurer in IPMAN. Thank you so much for your time and your contribution.
Thank you very much.
And also here in the studio, we had Olabode Shomi, an energy expert and a public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for your time.
Always a pleasure.
And thank you for being part of the program. I am Eucharia Clinton. Goodbye.